Hey guys, Diane here, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Little Eve by Catriona Ward, and I'm so excited to tell you guys about this book. So hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll get into it. Okay, so Little Eve. So this book was actually released in 2018, but it's recently been re-released October 11th, and I had it on pre-order. I was so excited to read this book. I love Catriona Ward to death. But this book is about a family, a cult, if you will, and they are all kind of ruled by this figure called Uncle. He really rules what they do, what they say, what they eat, when they eat, how they eat, and they are all under the impression that they are ushering in the end of the world. They live in a very secluded castle on the coast of Scotland. It's very cold. It's very ominous almost. And they're under the impression, like I said, that they're going to usher in the end of the world, and they are going to kind of create this new earth that's going to be ruled by this worm king of sorts. And that's all you really need to know about this book. I went in pretty blind. I read the briefest of the synopsis on the back of the book, and that's really all you need to know. It's by Catriona Ward. You can't go wrong. But the length and the pacing of this book was only 288 pages. I listened to it on Audible, but honestly, it could have gone on for days, and I would have listened to it. It was addictive, to say the least. And there's a thing with Catriona Ward. In her books, the beginning is very character driven. It's very character heavy. You are learning the ins and outs of all the characters. You're learning the family dynamic. You're learning how they coexist together and how their everyday lives go. So it's really building a very strong foundation for the layers that she builds in her books, and it's story upon story upon story. Once you think you know where the story is going, it changes, and then you're just thrown for a loop and you have no idea what the hell is going on. But in the beginning of the book, I could see how some people, not me, how some people might say that it's a little slow. I would say it's a bit of a slow burn because it is, more of a world building, if you will, but there's such an amazing payoff. And she's a very intentional author to where something that you're hearing in the beginning is going to come to fruition at the end of the book. You're going to learn that none of these details were for the fun of it. It's not a Stephen King type of thing. You're not going to go through chapters that could be completely written out of the book. And that's another thing I love about Catriona Ward. She's so intentional, and everything she does and says in a story matters. Everything that you are learning is really going to, pay off in the end. And there's a light switch in this book to where it really takes off, and the story you just have to finish it. So I would say that in the beginning of the book, it took me just a smidgen to get going, the first day or so, but I finished like the last 6 hours in one sitting because I could not put it down. But the characters themselves in this book are so dimensional. They're so deep. They really do feel like people, and you really do feel for them. You feel for the situation that they're in. You feel how it's going to affect them. You feel the hurt that they feel. There's some parts in this book that I was honestly devastated. I've been thinking about it yesterday, today. I even tried to start a new book today, but I was like, I may as well just stop because I'm still in Little Eve. I'm still in that castle. I'm still with these characters, and I'm still processing what Catriona Ward has done to me. And as far as twists, I mean, there's so many. I wouldn't even know where to start. Once you feel like you know exactly what's going on, there's going to be some little detail that you're like, wait a second. And that's another thing I love about her. I'm like her biggest fan at this point. That it's just so, I just love it because it's one of those authors that really does surprise you, that you are honestly surprised at where the story has gone. You're not going to expect anything, and you're not going to be able to predict what's going to happen next. This is a book that I will recommend to everybody. You will never hear me stop talking about this book. It's probably going to be my favorite book of the year. It might be my second favorite book of all time, but seeing as how fresh it is in my mind right now, it's probably my favorite book of all time as of today. As of right now, it's my favorite book of all time because it's untouchable. She makes these stories that are so immersive and that are so expansive, and you can't crawl out of them. It's really like falling into it and clawing your way back out because it is so immersive. And that's another thing that I loved about The Last House on Needless Street. She's done it again, and I didn't think she was capable of it. I didn't think anyone would be capable of it. But this book is flawless. I would give this a 10 out of 10. It's a book that I can't even really think of anything that really compares to it. It was phenomenal. So this is definitely something that if you're really looking to lose yourself in a book and you really want to just be devastated at the end of it, but in the best way. And it's not too dark either. There are some very dark aspects to it, but it's not in your face. It's very poetically written to where you almost don't realize the depravity you're going through at the moment. But that's another talent of hers that I would say I enjoy. But if you've read this book, let me know in the comments. I love talking books, and hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.